this new microphone system off, and supposedly we have the mics all working now, and we still are not 100% on them, and we're still probably going to have some hiccups. Welcome to the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission meeting of January the 9th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Seeger, McInnes, Truxillo, Doherty.
Here.
Horn.
Here.
Gaines.
Here.
Crawford.
Here.
Narcisse.
Here.
Troncoso.
Here.
Hernandez.
Here.
Accardo.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Public announcements, please silence all phones and electronic devices. If you wish to appeal any of the cases that are heard tonight, there are appeal cards on the railing to my right. You must complete one of those and turn it in to have it appealed. Speaker cards, if you wish to speak on any case, you must complete a speaker card and turn it into staff, and they will get it up here to me. And once again, if you wish to speak, you must complete a speaker card. Public speaking is 10 minutes each side and 5 minutes for rebuttal. If you wish to exit the building after your case is heard, you're welcome to, or if you wish to stay, you're welcome to. Please rise for the invocation by Commissioner Crawford, and the allegiance, I'll do that. Thank you.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day and for all of our many blessings. We give our thanks and praise to you, and we ask for your continued blessings and safekeeping for all of us and our families. We ask you to bless this commission tonight and be with us as we try to do the work of the people in the parish and make good decisions on their behalf. I ask you to be with everyone here tonight as they travel home and keep them safe. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, request for postponements. Helen's helping customers right now.
The minutes first.
We do not have any requested postponement. However, we would like to pull up item number 8, entering the parish right-of-way resolution number 22-161 Second Avenue. Would like to hear this case first, if possible.
Okay. That's the only one that we need to have any action on right now. So let me go back and catch the minutes from last month's meeting. This is the December 12th meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion and a second to approve. These are the votes are going to be verbal votes. The machine's not working on that. Leslie?
Excuse me, one second. Doherty?
Here. Yes.
Horn?
Yay.
Gaines?
Yay.
Crawford?
Yay.
Narcisse?
Yes.
Troncoso?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Accardo? Yes. The motion to approve the minutes as accepted carries.
Okay. Thank you. I'll go over to item number 8 on page 3. This is entering the parish right-of-way resolution number 22-161 Second Avenue. Request to enter the parish right-of-way for Second Avenue, the Berg Boulevard subdivision, Balsam Manor subdivision, for the purpose of taking soil borings and gaining access to the property. Enter the parish right-of-way resolution number 22-161. The debtor is AEW Salas Development, LLC. Parish Council District Representative is outgoing Honorable Rocco Toledano. Incoming is Honorable Pat Phillips. General location, the property is located east of Slimmer Road, north of Hellenberg Road, Covington, Ward 3, District 5. The developer is requesting an extension of time to provide documentation and complete the work. Staff, you have any comments?
Yes, sir. Honorable Commissioners, the above reference resolution.
Wait a minute, we're not,
Oh, hello?
yep, there you go.
There we go. Sorry about that. Honorable Commissioners, the above reference resolution was adopted on November 9th, 2022. The resolution states that the petitioner shall submit all documentation required within 1 year from the date of adoption. Additionally, the petitioner has 2 years to complete all work on this project. If not completed within the 2 years, approval of the work will be voided and the petitioner will be required to reapply for permission. As of the date of this letter, our office has not received the required documentation. Since time has expired, the petitioner to furnish the documentation. The following action is required by the Planning Commission to allow the petitioner to proceed with this project. Required action is extend the adoption date to January 11th, 2024, hereby extending the 1 year submittal of documentation to January 11th, 2025, and the completion date to January 11th, 2026. The petitioner's attorney, Mr. Jeff Shane, has requested extension of time to submit the required documentation. See the attached letter dated December 12th, 2023. The Department of Engineering Development has no objection to this extension. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shane.
Good evening, Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Firm, P.O. Box 1810 in Covington. I represent the petitioner, and as Mr. Reynolds has just informed you, those are the reasons for our request. We don't have a problem with any of the requirements that have been made by staff as it relates to what we need to do. We simply have had problems getting our project rolling and getting all of those things completed timely. So we would ask for the 1 year extension and I guess a 2 year extension coterminous with that first year in order to get the work completed.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this? Seeing no one, I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Do I have a motion and a second on this?
Motion to approve.
That was
Crawford.
and second,
Second.
Troncoso. Please vote. This is a verbal vote again.
Doherty.
Yes?
Horn. Gaines.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Narcisse. Troncoso.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Accardo. The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we're going to go back to the first of the agenda. This is revocation review. And item 1 is REV 23-12-007, the revocation of an unopened portion of Pellegrin Drive located on the west of River Road, north of Branch Crossing Drive, Ward 3, District 2. The applicant is Brittany Robert. Parish Council District Representative outgoing is Honorable David Fitzgerald. Incoming is Honorable Larry Rowling. This was postponed from the December 12th meeting. Staff?
Okay. The applicant is requesting to revoke an unopened portion of Pelican right-of-way in order to assimilate the property to the adjacent properties on which he owns. We still haven't received any future development plans from the petitioner, so the recommendation will be the same as it was last month, and that would be to table until the next meeting.
Okay. Staff has requested that this be postponed until the February 14th meeting. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, sorry, I'm Brittany Robert. I did read the staff report, and after last month's meeting, I'm actually here to represent Miss Frida Cretin. She is the actual property owner. I'm just facilitating and assisting her with this. So the main issue at the last meeting was that a portion of the property would be landlocked. We have discussed and agreed that the best course of action is to, rather than remove the easement entirely, request that the easement be removed entirely, just leave it as a servitude of passage for future property owners. The reason we have not submitted anything for future development plans, Ms. Frida does have a large portion of this property already for sale. However, if you look at the staff report and look at parcel number 23861, In the staff report, there's a 1 acre square just north of Pellegrin Drive. That property will be donated, and we are, again, assisting Ms. Cretin with eventually putting a single-family residence on that property. In the middle of all this, Ms. Frida is also working through the process of selling a southern portion of the entire development, a 40-acre servitude to the city of Covington, so that's why everything is preliminary at this point. There's a lot of moving parts. However, if the revocation does go through, we will follow the minor re-subdivision process and leave the easement on the as a deeded easement for servitude of passage for future property owners. Meets and bounds will not change, and we will bring it up to minor subdivision standards.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Anyone in the audience wish to
Also-
speak for or against?
I'd also like to say that the staff is in favor of that, which you
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah, we spoke with Joey Lebrano earlier this week, just regarding what he thought the best course of action would be. And Mr. Lebrano was actually the one who suggested leaving as a servitude of passage. The main issue right now for us is the cost to build out the road fully to parish standards. It is astronomical for one single-family residence. For 1,800 linear feet, it's almost $300,000. And the project that we are doing is kind of a donation, to, so to speak. So,
okay, thank you.
thank you.
I didn't see anyone in the audience that wished to speak either for or against, so I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Do I have a motion and a second on this?
I have a question.
Okay,
Ms. Brittany,
Yes, sir?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
There's a lot.
I'm a little confused. So
Okay.
we have this picture?
Yes, sir. That is the preliminary resub. As I stated, Ms. Frida is working with Bruce Butler at Land Surveying and the City of Covington. If you look at the bottom of that survey,
Right.
that is only a portion of Ms. Frida's property. She owns all 70 acres.
Okay.
It actually may be in excess of 70 acres. I'd have to do the math, but, so the portion that states, I believe it's parcel B, that portion is being donated, so to speak, to a property owner. The gentleman's name is Stephen Savoy. You have a letter in that packet. He's agreeable to the revocation request. That actually abuts his property on Wall Lane, which is just to the east of that parcel, so
Okay.
it essentially extends his existing residential lot. Again, the 40-foot easement is going to City of Covington to fix some drainage issues in the Savannah's Phase 3, which is what this backs up to. And then only the very small square just north of the Pellegrin Drive easement is what will be donated and developed. It's a tiny little square in the right-hand corner.
Okay.
You may not be able to see it on there, I can't.
So have you seen this picture?
Yes.
Okay. The yellow that's in between, that's the revocation that we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if you look at that image, parcel number 23861, which is the right or eastern portion of the unopened
Okay.
portion of Pellegrin, that the northern little square is what we hope to develop for a family.
That 23861, does that correspond to parcel B on this map?
Yes, sir. It's not updated on the GIS.
Okay, and then the other side is parcel A?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so on this parcel A and parcel B, they
Yes,
just
sir.
have a lot line between the two.
Yes, sir.
So did you say that this unopened portion were you going to remain with a servitude going through there?
Yes, sir. We would leave it as a servitude of passage. It would be a deeded easement for all future property owners so that
Okay.
it does not landlock anything.
So a new survey would show that on this lot line going between the two parcels?
No, sir, I apologize. It is if you're looking at that survey, it more or less will remain exactly the same. The meets and bounds of the road will remain as it is. It just, if this goes through, will not belong to St. Tammany. It will just be a private servitude of passage.
Okay, and staff concurs with that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, okay. Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve then.
Subject to the reservation of the servitude.
Yes. Subject to the reservation
Yes.
of the servitude.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the
Okay.
meets and bounds and the legal description for the existing road that are in the packet will 100% remain the same. It just will no longer belong to the parish.
Okay. Okay.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Please vote.
Doherty,
Yes.
Horn, Gaines,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Narcisse, Troncoso, Hernandez, Accardo. I'm sorry, was that a yay or a nay? The motion to approve carries.
Thank you all very much for your time.
All right, I have a card that was turned in. Don't know if it's to speak or not speak. It says enter right away, Jesse Marsh.
It was
Do
only
we
to
know
speak
what
if
case
necessary.
this is?
It doesn't have a case number. Currently, it's number 2 that's coming up for the Wadsworth subdivision.
Okay. No, you didn't put a case number.
It doesn't have a.
And we
case.
had 4 entering right-of-ways. It doesn't have a case number on it.
Yeah.
So it's the next one? Okay.
All right, thank you. I'll bring you back up in just a minute. Okay, this is entering the right-of-way servitude easement in the Tammany Trace. Yes.
That one, you mean? It should be.
Mine got turned off somehow, so. Okay. Request to enter the parish right-of-way for Wadsworth Parkway, Wadsworth subdivision for the purpose of modifying the existing roadway. The debtor is Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores Incorporated. Parish Council District Representative, outgoing is Riker Toledano, incoming is Honorable Pat Phillips. General location, the property is west of Louisiana Highway 1088, north of U.S. Interstate 12, Mandeville, Ward 4, District 5. Staff?
Yes, sir. Staff received a request to enter the parish right-of-way, specifically the portion of Wadsworth Parkway beginning at the intersection of Highway 1088 for the purpose of improving Wadsworth Parkway and accessing the proposed Love Travel Stop and Country Store. The scope of work includes median modification, drainage improvements, and associated turn lane and lane extension work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, sir. Mr. Marsh, you have any other comments that you need to make?
I don't have anything to add. I'm just here to answer questions if there are any.
Okay. All right. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak either for or against? I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Do we have any motions?
Motion to accept, to approve.
Motion by Weldon to accept.
Second.
Second by
Gaines.
Gaines. Okay. He slipped in on me too. All right. Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
I have a question regarding this layout that was handed to me tonight. In regards to the stacking lane and into a 30-foot curb cut, is this correct? Am I reading this correctly?
So for the curb cut, that's going to be a 50-foot wide median open that they're proposing right now, and it's not a dedicated stacking lane at that curb cut. The curb cut just is kind of very typical to what you see on most boulevards that are curb cut. The stacking lane is actually for the queuing that will be turning onto the new proposed road right-of-way, which you can kind of see on the called left-hand side of the paper. But there is not a queuing lane with that curb cut. That is just simply to give left-hand turn movements in and out of the property.
Okay. That makes it even worse. This is going to be the first curb cut into this development off of 1088. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Is this going to have trucks?
Yes, sir, there is proposed trucked access to that
Okay, so where are the
one.
trucks going to enter the property?
What is not completely shown in this exhibit, because it is not a part of the right-of-way request, it is being handled under the commercial permit request, is that the future right-of-way that was aforementioned, and you can see on the left-hand side of the property, also gains access to the Love's Travel Stop. This parcel is a rather large parcel that extends southerly or westernly, if you're looking at the plan, but basically plans south, that there's also access to that one. If I believe I'm remembering the plans correctly, the truck route should go through the new road and basically create a loop through the.
Around to the back?
Yes, sir.
I mean, Love's knows, there's so many Love's travel stops. I mean, I recently was driving to Chicago, I went to 3 of them, and I know they know how to lay their sites out. I understand that. My only concern is, I'm assuming they're going to sign this thing to move the trucks away from there. Otherwise, you could potentially, I guess the trucks know where to go. Is that what it amounts to?
I believe that
Because-
would be a fair assumption if you want to ask the representative about their signage plan, but yeah, I would say that is a fair assumption.
That is correct, Mr. Troncoso.
Okay.
There will be clear signage to direct auto traffic
To go
apart from,
around to the back?
apart from truck traffic, that'll go around to the side.
Right, because
Service
it's
road.
just very enticing, you know,
It'll-
and I realize the 18-wheelers, they know what to do.
It should be very clearly defined
Okay.
for the flow patterns.
Okay, and now I guess the other question is you're accommodating a significant amount of automobiles as well here.
Correct.
I mean,
The
you have
frontage
more
of
automobiles than trucks, I think, on the interstate. Why wouldn't there be a stacking lane here?
so we've had a traffic study done, and we will have a full submittal for design review to the engineering department.
Okay.
If there was a requirement that comes up because of those
I mean,
studies.
you might
it'll be
want to
added,
think
but-
about that. It's the first curb cut into the property off of the main road. So you might want to consider having that stacking lane because I think that's going to be heavily, heavily used. Just a thought. Anyway, thanks. Thank you.
Okay. Did we have a motion?
Yes.
And a
Yes.
second?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Doherty.
Yes.
Horn. Gaines. Crawford. Narcisse. Troncoso.
Yes.
Hernandez. Accardo. Mr. Chairman, the motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, we'll go over to minor subdivision review. This is item 3, case is 2023-3357-MSP. It's a minor subdivision of parcel 3 into parcels 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, and 3A. Owner and representative is Canebrake LLC, William McGee. Surveyor is John G. Cummings and Associates. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the property is located on the south side of Stein Road, west of Clarence Road, Sun, Ward 5, District 6. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create 5 parcels from parcel 3. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcels 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, and 3E are proposed to be accessed from a 35-foot access servitude. The proposed name of the 35-foot private drive shall be granted approval by the Planning Commission, and the proposed name is Canebrake Lane, and requesting a waiver to construct the 35-foot access drive right-of-way and the required drainage prior to the building permit being issued on parcel 3B, 3C, 3D, and 3E instead of prior to the plat being recorded. And the request shall be subject to item 1, 2, and 3. You may recall that this minor subdivision was in front of you in July of this year. And it was denied and appealed to the council. The council upheld the denial of the Planning Commission. And after further discussion with the council representative as well as the village of Sun, there was an agreement reached. And if you want to take a look at the plan that I submitted just before the meeting, it is basically subject to the approval of this overall plan where, there's been reached an agreement between basically the parish or the council representative and also the Village of Sun that the area will be developed as shown on this attached plan here, which is a portion that is inside the village. But this is basically just to give you an idea of the overall development in that area.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McGee.
Yes, sir. Good evening, gentlemen. William McGee. I live in Pearl River and one of the members of the LLC. And as a point of information, how many of you were on the Planning Commission at the hearing in June 13th of this year? Were all of you on the?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So. This is the one that and I wanted to correct Helen because it was approved by the Planning Commission unanimously with the exception of Mr. Doherty. Everybody voted for it primarily, I think, because this is an A2 zoned piece of property and the density is 1 acre minimum. And so we were doing the 3.3 acre minimum. So it was one of those things where you said, gosh, we don't ever get those kind of requests here. Everybody's wanting to go below that. So it was approved, and then there were people who were here in opposition, and they appealed it to the council. And Ms. Tanner, at the September meeting of the council, voted to grant the appeal, which eliminated the approval that the commission did. So after that, we got with the Village of Sun, who has jurisdiction over the other 2 parcels, and they wanted a 5 acre density. And so what we did was we had to go back to Mr. Cummings and get him to redraw the survey. If you'll notice, those 2 parcels that aren't in the parish, they would be to the right of this parcel and to the north. Both of those had 1 acre lots in the subdivision. So there was about 26 and there was 40 to 50 lots that were there then. And so now you see the current configuration of those 2 parcels is significantly different. But part of our agreement to do that with the property in the village was that this particular request for the 5 parcels out of this 16 acre tract was approved by the parish, and Ms. Tanner has confirmed that she is fine with the resolution that we made with the village as far as adopting the 5 acre density requirement. So we came back and just said, we couldn't find a way to undo the appeal, so they required us to go back and just resubmit what we had submitted in June and bring it before the commission.
Okay, thank you.
Have any
Thank
questions?
you for correcting me. Sorry about the information.
Hey, that's not very often that happens,
yeah,
let me tell you. All right, does anyone in the audience wish to speak either for or against on this item? Yes, sir. Come forward, state your name and address, and if you haven't filled out a card, I've got 2 cards here, Mark Hall and Jerry Swinner.
Honorable Commissioners, my name is Mark Hall.
Okay.
And I looked at the plan, and I agree that I think the road should be accepted and installed before any parcels are broke up. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone in the audience wish to speak against on this item? Yes, sir.
I just want to reiterate.
Your name is?
Jerry Swenson.
Okay.
I live 29080 Stein Road, just adjacent to the properties. I just want to reiterate the concerns that we had before. Our infrastructure has not been improved since that last meeting. Our fire department rating has not improved since that last meeting. and none of the no infrastructure improvements have been made. I stand with what the Village of Sun has. I think it was 23 homes on 120 acres and 5-acre parcels. So as long as that's the case, I do not have a problem with it. But we reserve the right to fill out an appeal if it is passed. And any of the other residents, I haven't been able to talk to them. I wasn't able to download the new map. I was told that there was not a problem, that it was probably my browser. And I tried 3 different browsers and I still wasn't been able to download it. But as long as the 5-acre lots is not reduced as agreed with the Village of Sun, I have no problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we can go to rebuttal. Bill, do you have any comments?
It is what it is. I don't know that I need to rebut anything. I didn't really hear any opposition to what we were doing, other than Mr. Hall wanting to not have the road waiver granted. But that was Helen's suggestion to me when we submitted the plan, and so
Basically is that you agree that no building permits will be constructed, or no house will be constructed or building permit granted until the road is constructed.
Right.
So it will have
Right.
to be constructed. This is just a question to allow for the recordation of the survey, and then
Right.
you will follow up with engineering and build the road as required.
absolutely, we've already agreed to that in writing.
Can we ask questions now?
Pardon?
It's not time yet.
Go ahead.
Rebuttal from the other.
Okay, yeah, we need the rebuttal from the other 2 gentlemen if they wish to rebut. Do either of you wish to rebut anything that Mr. McGee said?
Basically, I think.
Come to the microphone.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Basically, I would like to see the road completed before any of the parcels are subdivided there, and that's just the way I feel.
Okay, thank you. The other gentleman, do you have any comments? No, sir. Okay. I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission.
Ask questions now?
Pardon?
I can ask questions now?
Yes.
Mr. Cummins, I have a question for you. McGee, sorry.
Cummins is the surveyor.
Sorry.
Yes.
So I've heard a lot of discussion about the division of the parcels into 5 acres, but that's
Yeah.
not what's on our docket.
No, it's what was agreed to was a 5-acre density for the 120-acre parcel.
Is that the other 2 parcels?
Yes, it's the whole thing. The whole thing
That
is,
doesn't equal 120 acres.
well,
So that's what
that's the,
I'm just a math guy, so I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what the math is here.
yeah, right.
So you got a 22-acre parcel and a 16-acre parcel. Is that those 2 parcels? So this would be parcel 1 and parcel 2. So the agreement with the Village of Sun is that those 2 parcels will be in 5-acre subdivision?
Do you have that? Do you have that?
I understand.
Okay. You got your plan? When we purchased the property, it included, this whole thing was 120 acres. The parcel north of Stein Road, which is now parcels 4, 5, 11 acres already sold in parcel 6. So that was the northern portion that had, I think it was 20-something lots, 25 lots maybe on it.
Okay.
Okay, then this one over here was the 40-acre tract, which had approximately 35 lots on it. And then this was the 55-acre tract in the middle. It's been divided into parcel 1, parcel 2, and then parcel 3, which is what we're here for tonight. So that whole 120 acres is subject, the way it's laid out it's a 5-acre density,
That applies to the whole thing?
the whole thing.
Gotcha. So as long as you don't exceed the number of parcels.
Right.
That would equate to a 5-acre density.
That's correct.
Because see what my confusion is, I see like 5 lots here, or 6 lots parcel, or 5 lots
Yeah.
parceled out at 3 acres. I'm like,
Right.
where's the 5-acre?
Right. Well, if you factor
Gotcha.
in the 16-acre parcel one.
I get it now.
Okay.
You've equated the math,
Right,
so.
right.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Thank you.
All right, so with that, I'll make a motion to accept, or to approve,
To approve.
with the waivers.
Okay, we have a motion to accept with the waivers, and we have a second. Any further discussion?
Doherty,
Yes.
Horn, Gaines,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Narcisse,
Yes.
Troncoso,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Accardo.
Yes.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right. We go to re-subdivision review. This is item 4. The case is 2023-3645-MRP, re-subdivision of lots 212 and 213 into lot 212A. This is Whippoorwill Grove on Money Hill subdivision, Phase 5. Owner and representative is Blake and Stacy Baum. That's probably not right either. Surveyors J.V. Burke and Associates. Parish Council District Representatives Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, parcel located on the north side of Turkey Ridge Road, east of Louisiana Highway 1083, Bush, Ward 5, District 6. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to reconfigure the existing lots 212 and 213 into lot 212-A. The re-subdivision request requires a public hearing due to, as stated in the restrictive covenants of the approved plat, no lots shall be further re-subdivided without approval from the Planning Commission, and it shall be subject to items 1 and 2.
Thank you. Are the Bowmans here? Yes, sir. Please come to the mic. Good evening.
I'm sorry.
Good evening.
Evening. As stated, we're just wanting to join the two into one to build a house in the middle. You know, simple as that.
Sounds pretty simple to me. All right, anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Ken?
No, Weldon.
Well,
Make-
Robert, I'm sorry.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Approve and a second.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion?
Who seconded?
All right, please vote.
Doherty,
Yes.
Horn, Gaines,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Narcisse,
Yes.
Troncoso,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
and Cardo. The motion to approve carries. Who made the second?
There was 2 or 3 seconds down there.
Okay.
Seconds and a third.
I don't know if that makes any good. All right. You got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Item 5 is case 2023-3656-MRP, re-subdivision of parcel 3E and 3D into parcels 3D1 and 3D2, Alamosa Park. Owners and representatives, Alamosa Holdings, LLC, and ABIQUIU Holdings, LLC. Surveyors, Duplantis Design Group, Dennis Gowan. Parish Council District Representatives, Reichert Toledano incoming. I'm sorry, that was outgoing is Reichert, and incoming is Honorable Pat Phillips. General location, parcels located on the end of Compass Way North and at the end of Compass Way South, Mandeville, Ward 4, District 5. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to reconfigure the existing parcels 3-E and 3-D into parcels 3D1 and 3-D2 of Alamosa Park. As stated in the restrictive covenants of the approved plat, no lots shall be further re-subdivided without approval from the Planning Commission, and that is the reason why it is on the agenda today, and the request shall be subject to item number 1.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Paul Reese, 2900 East Causeway Approach in Mandeville, and I represent Alamosa Holdings and Abiquiu Holdings, the property owners.
Okay.
This is a re-subdivision of an 18-acre parcel into approximately a 13-acre parcel and a 5-acre parcel to allow an existing tenant business in Alamosa, mechanical equipment company, MECO, to acquire land for future growth and expansion in the existing footprint of I-2 property.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone in the audience wish to speak either for or against on this item? I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Do we have comments from the commissioners? Yes, sir.
A couple of questions.
Yes.
So you, excuse me, you're absorbing parcel 3E into 3D1.
Yes, 3E was a designated roadway parcel based upon the assumption that it would continue traveling further east beyond the MECO parcel, but being there, buying the parcel to the north and west, that will no longer be needed as a roadway. It will in effect be their company gate, so to speak, into their property.
So MECO is the tenant?
MECO is a landowner, yes, sir.
Is the landowner?
Yes.
And, but they will not be owning 3D1, is that correct?
That's what they're going to be purchasing, 3D1.
Okay. So there's no access easements or anything of record relative to 3E?
3E will no longer exist because it's simply a part of their overall property.
I see.
It doesn't exist now. It was a map designation. It was never actually a easement granted.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Doherty?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Gaines?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Narcisse?
Yes.
Troncoso?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Accardo?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, next item is notice of intention to consider adoption of amendment to development agreement. I've read this thing several times and I'm still not real sure what it's all about. All right, let me read it and then we'll get the expert in on it. All right, a public hearing will be held by the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission to consider adoption of an amendment to the developmental agreement between St. Tammany Parish Government and Advanced Mortgage Company to remove lots 1 through 42 of Square 11, lots 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42 of Square 13, and lots 1 through 42 of Square 16, lots 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, 41 of Square 15 of South Abita Springs subdivision, also known as Tammany Hills subdivision, removing lot 63 and adding 63 lots. Okay, the debtor is Advanced Mortgage Company. Parish Council District Representative outgoing is David Fitzgerald. Incoming is Larry Rawling. General location, the property is located on 6th Street at 7th Street between Adams Avenue and Jefferson Avenue, Covington, Ward 3, District 2. Staff?
Yes, sir. Honorable Commissioners, the developer has requested an amendment to the developmental agreement between St. Tammany Parish Government and Advanced Mortgage Company to contain the aforementioned lots and squares, to remove the aforementioned lots and squares and add additional aforementioned lots and squares. That way we don't have to reread it all. Essentially removing 63 lots from this agreement and adding 63 lots from this agreement. This office and the District Attorney's Office has reviewed the amendment and have no objection. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marone.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. Paul Marone on behalf of Advanced Mortgage Company. To give you just a little bit of background, so these lots in Tammany Hills, as you know, these are lots of record, and so they don't typically have retention since the lots are already there. And as a result, many years ago, the parish instituted an ordinance that said if you're going to develop these lots, you need to pay a fee into the parish to help create regional detention. Well, the Wayner family and Advanced Mortgage, rather than paying the fee, decided it was in their interest and in the interest of the parish actually go in and put retention in. And so they did just that. Back in 2003, they built some significant retention and drainage facilities in the Tammany Hills area. And in doing that, they created enough retention for a certain number of lots. So once that was done, a developmental agreement was created so that those lots could be developed without the fee because the retention was there for them, that it was already accounted for. What we are doing tonight, we are not adding any additional lots to that agreement, but we are taking 63 lots that were originally part of the agreement and could have been developed out. We're putting 63 lots that were not in the agreement into the agreement. So it's a net even move. You have the same number of lots that will be able to be developed with the retention that's in place. We're just changing those lot numbers because there are some squares that are more appropriate for development in the view of Advanced Mortgage Company than others, and this will simply make that agreement conform with the lots that are intended to be developed. But again, it's a net neutral move in that the same number of lots will have the ability to be constructed and built upon and to utilize those retention and drainage facilities as originally planned. So with that being said, we'd respectfully request your approval to allow us to amend that agreement to swap these 63 lots. And I'm happy to answer any additional questions if that wasn't clear, if there are more questions from the Commission.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
All right. Before we go into any questions, I've been advised that some of the commissioners weren't turning their mics on. Down at the bottom of the little small box, it says press to speak. If you wish to speak, you must hit the press to speak, and that'll pop a green microphone active light up. So does anyone wish to speak on this? Okay. We've got Mr. Troncoso.
Well, I just have one question regarding I know you may have said it, and it just went over my head, Paul. The new lots, are they in the area that will utilize the retention area?
Yes, yes, they are all in the same area and will still drain into those same drainage improvements.
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
Okay. We have any other questions?
No question. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Crawford to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Troncoso. Any further questions? Any further discussion? Please vote.
Doherty?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Gaines?
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Narcisse,
Yes.
Troncoso,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Accardo. The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, we go over to page 3, old business. Item 7, entering parish right-of-way, resolution 22-063, Manor Street, Robert Street, and Walker Street. Request to enter the parish right-of-way for Manor Street, Robert Street, and Walker Street, Robindale subdivision, squares 10 and 11, for the purpose of gaining access to the property. Enter the parish right-of-way, resolution 22-063, council resolution number C is in Charlie 6624. The debtor is Steadfast Development. Parish Council District Representative. The outgoing is Honorable David Fitzgerald. Incoming is Honorable Larry Rawling. General location, the property is located east of Louisiana Highway 21, west of Louisiana Highway 59, north of Louisiana Highway 36, Abita Springs, Ward 3, District 2. The developer is requesting an extension of time to provide required documentation to complete the work. Staff?
Yes, sir. Honorable Commissioners, the above referenced resolution was adopted on May 10th, 2022. The resolution states that the petitioner submit all documentation required within 1 year of the date of adoption. Additionally, the petitioner has 2 years to complete all work on this project. If not completed within the 2 years, approval of this work will be voided and the petitioner will be required to reapply for permission. As of the date of this letter, our office has not received the required documentation. Since the time has expired for the petitioner to furnish all documentation, the following action is required by the Planning Commission to allow the petitioner to proceed with this project. Extend the adoption date to January 11th, 2024, hereby extending the 1 year submittal of the documentation to January 11th, 2025, and the completion date to January 11th, 2026. The petitioner's attorney, Mr. Paul Marone, has requested an extension of time to submit the required documentation. See the attached letter dated December 12th, 2023. The Department of Engineering Development has no objection to this extension. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marone.
Thank you, Mr. Daugherty. Members of the Commission, Paul Marone, again, this time on behalf of Steadfast Development. This is sort of a standard request for an extension of time for entering the right-of-way. Just to give you a little background on this item, I want to be clear that it wasn't as if we were not actively engaged with staff over this last year. There were a number of issues that we worked collectively with them, had a number of meetings with them. It was a situation where there were some complexities that required us to give information to them to go back and analyze that information, then respond to us, so we then knew how ultimately to respond to them, and that back and forth just simply we were not able to get it done in time. But we actively have been actively working. The most recent meeting, I think, was in December, I believe, where I think we are now in a position collectively where we understand staff has made some decisions on how they want to handle things. We understand that. We're prepared to move forward. We just need the extension of time to be able to do that. So we respectfully request the extension of time as set forth on your agenda. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. All right, Commissioners, anybody wish to speak? Crawford.
Paul, just a quick question. I'm looking at the letter that was sent to Ted, and it talks about 2 waivers. Is that part of this?
That's the next item on your agenda.
That's the next item on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 10.
Actually, number 10.
Okay. Okay. So this is just for the extension of time?
This is just the extension of time.
Okay.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Crawford to approve. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Commissioner Gaines.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? Please vote.
Doherty,
Yes.
Horn,
Yes.
Gaines,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Narcisse,
Yes.
Troncoso,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Accardo. The motion to approve carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we did item 8. That was a move up. Item 9 is entering the parish right-of-way, number 22-045, Delta Street and Eldora Avenue. Request to enter the parish right-of-way for Delta Street and Eldora Avenue, Tammany Trace subdivision for the purpose of gaining access to the property. Enter the parish right-of-way, resolution number 22-045. The debtor is Tammany Trace LLC. Parish Council District Representative outgoing is Honorable David Fitzgerald. Incoming is Honorable Larry Raleigh. General location, the property is located on the south of Walden Street, east of Louisiana Highway 437, north of Landmark Lane, Covington, Ward 3, District 2. Developers requesting an extension of time to provide required documentation and the complete work. Staff?
Yes, sir. Honorable Commissioners, the above referenced resolution was adopted on April 12, 2022. The resolution states the petitioner shall submit all documentation required within 1 year of the date of adoption. Additionally, the petitioner has 2 years to complete the work on this project. If not completed within the 2 years, approval of this work will be voided and the petitioner will be required to reapply for permission. As the date of this letter, our office has not received the required documentation. Since time has expired for the petitioner to furnish all documentation, the following action is required by the Planning Commission to allow the petitioner to proceed with this project. Extend the adoption date to January 11, 2024, hereby extending the 1 year submittal of documentation to January 11, 2025, and the completion date to January 11, 2026. The petitioner's attorney, Mr. Paul Marone, has requested an extension of time to submit the required documentation. See the attached email dated December 14, 2023. The Department of Engineering Development has no objection to this extension. Thank you.
Mr. Marone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the Commission, Paul Marone on behalf of Tammany Terrace LLC for the rights of ways in Tammany Terrace subdivision. Again, a request for an extension of time. Our delays here really were consultant issues. We had problems with our engineer and our surveyor, primarily the engineer, but both have been replaced, and we're ready to move forward, and we asked for an extension of time to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marone. All right, I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Do I have any commissioners wishing to speak?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Gaines to approve. Second by? Okay. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Doherty.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Narcisse.
Yes.
Troncoso.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Accardo. The motion to approve carries.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, we'll go to page 4, item 10. Entering parish right-of-way resolution 22-063, Manor Street, Robert Street, and Walker Street. Request to enter the parish right-of-way for Manor Street, Robert Street, and Walker Street, Robindale subdivision, squares 10 and 11, for the purpose of gaining access to the property. Enter the parish right-of-way resolution number 22-063, council resolution number C as in Charlie 6624. The debtor is Steadfast Development. Parish Council District Representative outgoing is Honorable David Fitzgerald. Incoming, Honorable Larry Raleigh. General location, the property is located east of Louisiana Highway 21, west of Louisiana Highway 59, north of Louisiana Highway 36, Abita Springs, Ward 3, District 2. Developers requesting 2 waivers to St. Tammany Parish Ordinance Sections 125-56 and 125-88. Staff?
Yes, sir. Honorable Commissioners, the above referenced project received approval from the Planning Commission on May 10, 2022. However, due to the unique nature of this project, the developer is seeking waivers of St. Tammany Parish Ordinance Sections 125-56 and 125-88. Pursuant to Ordinance Section 125-56D2, the developer is requesting a waiver of the maximum cul-de-sac length of 700 feet. See the attached letter. A waiver of this section requires a 2/3 majority vote of the Planning Commission membership. Additionally, pursuant to Ordinance Section 125-88C, the developer is requesting a waiver of the requirement for all drainage rights-of-way and servitudes shall not be located within an individual lot. See the attached letter.
At the time of the subdivision was platted, various drainage servitudes were established within the boundaries of the lots. In order to provide for adequate drainage in the area, the petitioner is requesting a waiver to enlarge these drainage servitudes within the individual lots. The current lot configuration shows lots encumbered with private drainage servitudes, such as the plan needs to be revised to conform with section 12588, or a waiver of this ordinance section be granted by a 2/3 majority affirmative vote of the Planning Commission membership. The petitioner's attorney, Mr. Paul Marone, has requested the above referenced waivers. See the attached letter dated December 12th, 2023. The Department of Engineering Development has no objection to these requests. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marone again.
Thank you, Mr. Daugherty. Members of the Commission, Paul Marone, one last time this evening. So Robindale subdivision, for those of you who don't recall, was platted back in the 1950s. So the layout for that subdivision has been the same since that time. We are just coming in and constructing the infrastructure and building out those lots. In more present times, there were plans for the entire build-out of Robindale done by Mr. Leroy Cooper back, and I believe it was 2006, 2007. I want to say it was right after Katrina, if memory serves. Those plans were approved. We are now at the last part of Robindale. Everything else has been built out. And in fact, as noted in Mr. Reynolds' comments, the approval to enter these rights of way for the construction was granted back in 2022. Two waivers being requested. One, the cul-de-sac length. Again, this was not a design that we created. This was a design that was created in the 1950s, and it's not really pliable or changeable on our behalf. So we would ask for that waiver since this right-of-way and these lots have been laid out long before, and unfortunately it's not a blank canvas. Second, and perhaps more important, and this is a little bit more complicated, we're requesting a waiver to enlarge existing drainage servitudes that are within the boundaries of the lots. Those of you who have been on the commission for a while will remember that in about the last year or two, and Mr. Reynolds can correct me if I'm mistaken on my timing, but relatively recently, the parish passed an ordinance saying that you can't have drainage servitudes within the lots. For all the time before that ordinance, it was very commonplace that servitudes were located within the lot lines. And in Robindale, along the rear of these lots, there were drainage servitudes that were created that are existing today. Well, for us to be able to adequately address the drainage in accordance with today's standards, what the parish expects us to do, what your ordinances tell us to do, we need to expand that drainage servitude. We need to make it bigger to do a better job accommodating the drainage. I think everybody agrees that that's a good thing to do. The problem is we run up against that ordinance that says that you can't have a drainage servitude within a lot line. That is what gives rise to the request for the variance. It's important to note, again, that the drainage, there is already a drainage servitude within these lot lines. It's there, and it's not going to change. We just need to widen it. We have ample room to widen it. These lots are about 170 feet deep, so we're going to be widening that servitude by about 20 feet, I think, so it would be about 30 feet. So you're still going to have 140-foot depth in that lot, which is more than adequate. I mean, our A4 is 90 by 140s, so we'll still have ample depth. But by allowing us to enlarge that servitude, it'll allow us to provide proper drainage for these lots in an area that's critically important. So again, the waivers really arise for a couple of reasons, mainly because we are dealing with a very old subdivision, a subdivision that was put in the 1950s. And so we're requesting the waiver on the cul-de-sac length, and we're requesting the waiver to be able to not create the servitude, but to enlarge that drainage servitude that is within those lots today. I would also point out, as I said, this is the last part of Robindale to be developed. The other parts of Robindale were developed exactly like I'm talking about. We widened those servitudes, created the drainage for those areas, and it works very well. It's just in the interim, before we got to this last phase, the parish passed the ordinance that gives rise to the need for this waiver. Hope that's as clear as mud and that everybody understands what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it. I'm happy to try to answer any questions and clarify anything I said, but we appreciate your consideration this evening.
Thank you, Paul. All right, we got some questions to be asked. That's Commissioner Troncoso.
So what is the length to the cul-de-sac?
I believe it's about 900 feet. I did some quick measurements anticipating that might be a question. So I think about 950 feet. So we're about 250 feet beyond the 700 foot maximum that is currently in the code today.
Just a question historically for the staff. What do you do when you have a non-conforming plat of property? How do you grant, is it historically been, waivers have been granted?
Yes, sir. Exactly what we're doing right now. Historically, when new ordinances are developing that don't necessarily conform to previously platted developments, a waiver is requested, and that's why in our letter to the commissioners we offered no objection to it, because it's kind of the appropriate measurement for it.
Is there any, Paul? Is there anything to any mitigation on this at all? Is there any way to break it up at all, or to create something?
There really isn't, because again, everything has been laid out, and even we've got, so most of our lots would be maybe the east side back up to other lots. So there's really not a clean way to be able to do anything different than what we're doing, I'm afraid.
That's it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Is it
Yes,
safe to say that this is being done for the better of the drainage of the future that's being built right now?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. I would say absolutely. Increasing those servitudes gives us more capacity and better drainage in an area where, as I said, that's critically important. And so I think it's, yes, I think it's a benefit to this project and the area at large for us to be able to do that.
And staff, you agree with that?
For the most part, yes, sir. So, I mean, it is a requirement of the ordinance as well. So, yeah, that part does play a factor in there. Right. It's not an improvement that is, on the developer's dime for any type of agreements or, impact fee credits. It is a requirement, but the detention and fill mitigation out there is way better than no detention or fill mitigation out there. Typically I like to reference it. If the parish were to have a similar drainage problem, what would our fix be? It would be to put some type of detention facility to mitigate some of that water and give it a place to go and give it a place to store, similar to what they're doing now. So, but it is a requirement of the request as well. I wanted to make sure that was at least that
right. As well. I guess I chose my words a little poorly because it is a lot better, but it is allowing us to meet the current day requirements. Yes. Right. is what it's allowing us to do.
Because
so
it was outdated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
With that, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Mr. Gaines.
Is that with the two waivers, Emily?
Yes.
That's with the two waivers.
Two waivers.
Requires 8 affirmative votes.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes.
Paul, the roads in this subdivision, are they dedicated to the parish?
Yes, they're all.
And you're going to, of course, dedicate the 950 feet to the parish as well?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
All right.
Excuse me. Paul, how many homes are existing in this subdivision already, about approximately? Is this
55-ish?
okay? And how many will be in this piece of the development?
20. Let me make sure I'm telling you that right. I think there's, because I counted them somewhere. I want to say that I'm sorry, 21 lots.
21. And
21 lots.
basically they're 90 by 140?
They're 75 by 170.
Okay.
But they'll be, with the additional servitude in the back, they'll still be 75 by 140.
75 by 140?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you're talking about 12 or 13 homes on each side of that cul-de-sac in the 950-foot run?
That's about right, yes. Well, not quite that. I think it's about 21 lots, so you're talking about 11, roughly 11 or so on one side, 10 on the other. I think,
okay.
Is that about right?
So the only other question I have is these two waivers are put under the entering the parish right-of-way. It would be beneficial if we had a drawing or a plat showing us what the drainage would be and the drainage servitude and the cul-de-sac and the lot lines and typical normal planning stuff that we look at. So I think just make the point that all 8 of us have to agree to these waivers for them to pass. And I think Ted did a good job of explaining that they don't have a problem with it, so I'm okay with it also. And we do have a motion and a second, right?
Chairman, if I could.
Okay.
Yes.
I appreciate that comment. Moving forward, we will put some applicable plans to some of these requests to help better. I appreciate that feedback.
Good
Thank you.
suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve with waivers. Please vote.
Doherty.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Gaines.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Narcisse.
Yes.
Troncoso.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Accardo. The motion to approve with the waivers carries.
Thank you. Well, we have no new business. We have a motion to adjourn.
Like to make a motion to adjourn?
Okay, we got the motion to adjourn. Thank you. We made it through with the new equipment that's working, what, about 40%?